Please be seated. President, Chancellor, Vice President, members of Council, registrars, deans, colleagues, distinguished guests, and graduates, you're all very welcome to the conferring ceremonies of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland and the National University of Ireland. I'd like to start by introducing our platform party. At the table to the front of the stage, on your right, is Dr. Maurice Manning, Chancellor of the National University of Ireland, Mr. Declan McGee, President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. At the back of the stage, again starting from your right, is Dr. Attracta Halpin, Registrar of the National University of Ireland, Ms. Judith Gilroy, Associate Director of Academic Affairs, RCSI, Ms. Fiona Mitchell, SARA Representative of RCSI, Professor John Hyland, Vice President of RCSI, Professor Hannah McGee, Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences at RCSI, Mr. Fionn O'Cunningham, Chair of the Professional Development and Learning Committee of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland, Professor Paul Gallagher, Head of the School of Pharmacy at RCSI, Professor Niamh Moran, Head of the School of Postgraduate Studies at RCSI, and I am Cathal Kelly, CEO of RCSI. I now call upon the Registrar of the National University of Ireland to open the ceremonies.
Universitas Hiberniae Nationalis, Pre Honorabilis Cancellariae, totaque Universitas, hic comitia universitaria, hodie convocata sunt, ut he mulieres maxime eximie, et he viri maxime eximii ad grados academicos admittantur. This is a meeting of the National University of Ireland for the purpose of conferring degrees. The graduands will be presented by Professor Cathal Kelly, Registrar and CEO of RCSI, and the degrees will be conferred by Dr. Maurice Manning, Chancellor of the National University of Ireland.
I now declare open the conferring ceremony for the award of degrees of RCSI. For the degree of Master of Pharmacy, will the graduates please stand? Pre honorabilis cancellari totaque universitas, presento vobis has meos filius et hos meos filios, quos omne seo tam moribus quam doctrina habiles et eos esse, qui admitter ad graduum magisteri and pharmacia, idique tibi fide mea testor expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego auctoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum magisteri pharmacia.
I now call upon Professor Paul Gallagher, Head of the School of Pharmacy at RCSI, to call the graduates forward for their parchments.
I will now invite each graduate to come forward to receive your parchment. Sarah Corcoran. Cormac Anthony Duggan. Deirdre Keogh. Ciara Kenny. Stacey Ann Nevin. Muireann Eilish ní Leiden.
Thank you. The graduates can be seated. For the degree of Master of Science, would the graduates for this conferring please stand? For the degree of Master of Science. Pre honorabilis cancellari totaque universitas presento vobis has meus filius et hunc meum filium quos omnes sio tam moribus quam doctrina habiles et ideas esse qui admuter ad graduam magisteri scientiae idique tibi fide mea testor expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego auctoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum magisterii scientiae.
I call upon Professor Niamh Moran, Head of the School of Postgraduate Studies, to present the graduate.
I now call upon the graduate to please come forward to receive your parchment. That was Florian Friedmacher.
For the degree of Doctor of Medicine, MD, would the graduates please stand? Pre honorabilis cancellari totaque universitas presento vobis has meus filius et hos meus filios quos omnes si tam moribus quam doctrina habiles et eneas isse qui admitter ad graduam doctoratus in medicina idique tibi fide mea testor expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego auctoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum doctoratus in medicina.
I will now call on each graduate to come forward to receive your parchment, and we'll read the title of the thesis for which your degree is being awarded. So first, it's Linda Brewer for the thesis called Profile of Cardiovascular Risk Factors at 6 months post-ischemic stroke in Dublin, the ASPIRE-S study. Michelle McAvoy for a thesis called Improving Student Learning Through Virtual Means. Cora McGreevy for a thesis called Bone and Cardiovascular Health in the Older Person. Michelle Murray for a thesis entitled The Role of Anaerobic Bacteria in Cystic Fibrosis Lung Disease. And Kieran Sweeney for a thesis entitled Preclinical Investigation of the Effect of Combining the Cytotoxic Agent Temozolomide with the dual mTORC1 and mTORC2 inhibitor for the treatment of glioblastoma, and establishment of an imageable surgical resection model of glioblastoma.
For the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, will the graduates please stand? Pre honorabilis cancellari totaque universitas presento vobis has meus filius et hos meus filios quos omnes si tam moribus quam doctrina habiles et ideas esse qui admittor ad graduam doctoratus philosophiae idei tibi fide mea testor expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego auctoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae.
I will now invite each graduate to come forward to receive your parchment, and again we'll read the title of the thesis for which the degree is being awarded. Kelly Adamson for peptide modified probes and surfaces for protein sensing and platelet capture. Jacinth Kamuntu Asimwe for a thesis called A School-Based Trial Protocol in Community Promotion of Solar Water Disinfection, or SODIS, a case study of Nadagwe sub-county in central Uganda. Charlotte Bulger for a thesis entitled Investigating Novel Mechanisms of Metastasis in Endocrine-Resistant Breast Cancer. Nadia Karim for her thesis, The Functional Roles of GP6, GP1B alpha, and PARs in the Generation of Platelet-Derived Reactive Oxygen Species. Claudia Del Fiandra for Development of Phase Transfer Catalyzed Cyclopropionation and Related Processes. Eugenia Delgado for her thesis entitled Determining the Contributions of caspase 2 and caspase 8 to intracellular protease activities during apoptosis. T.D. Hassan for her thesis The Role of MicroRNAs in Alpha-1 Antitrypsin Deficiency. Siobhan Hendrick for her thesis entitled Modulation of Chloride Secretion by Bile Acids in Airway Epithelial Cells. Gerard Higgins for his thesis Physiological Impact of Lipoxin A4 on Cystic Fibrosis Bronchial Epithelium. Graham Joseph Kelly for his thesis on peptide prodrugs using host defense peptides as therapeutic anti-cancer agents. Andreas Linder, Mathematical Modeling of Stress Signaling and Self-Fate During Genotoxic Stress. Ana Lopez Alonso for her thesis entitled Individual Platelet Adhesion, or IPA, a Novel Assay of Platelet Function. Claire Magner for her thesis, The Impact of a Changed Approach to Analgesia and Sedation Management in the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. Rebecca Mahoney for her thesis entitled Investigation into the Role of LA-SSB in Interferon Regulation and its Relevance in Health and Human Disease. Peter Maurer for his thesis entitled Changes in the Ultrastructural Features of Estrogen-Deficient Bovine Bone. Dara Meldrum for her thesis entitled Effectiveness of Conventional versus Virtual Reality-Based Vestibular Rehabilitation in the Treatment of Dizziness, Gait and Balance Impaired in Adults with Unilateral Peripheral Vestibular Hypofunction. Lisa Mellon for her thesis entitled Time to Hospital Presentation in Acute Ischemic Stroke. Deirdre Murray for her thesis entitled An Evaluation of Impairment, Mobility and Quality of Life in Polio Survivors, Change in Muscle Strength over Time and the Effects of an Arm Ergometry Aerobic Exercise Program. Aoife O'Connor for her thesis entitled Novel Peptide and Polyethylene Oxide-Based Structures for Drug Delivery. Siobhan Smith for her thesis entitled An Investigation into the Role and Regulation of Tripartite Motif-Containing Protein 21, or TRIM21, in Systemic Lupus Erythematosus. Damir Varslija for his thesis entitled Estrogen-Independent ER Signaling in Aromatase Inhibitor-Resistant Breast Cancer is Target Gene Specific. And Francisca Walter for her thesis entitled Real-Time Single-Cell Imaging of ER Stress Responses.
Pre honorabilis cancellariae, totaque universitas, ceremoniis rite confectis, queso facias finem, huius convocationis universitariae. That completes the NUI and RCSI conferring ceremonies.
It's my great pleasure now to invite the newly minted Dr. Nadia Karim to come forward and deliver a valedictorian address on behalf of the graduates.
President McGee, past President Bro, Chancellor of the NUI, Professor Niamh Moran, members of the Irish Pharmaceutical Society, graduates, family and friends, Céad Míle Fáilte, welcome. Thank you to the School of Postgraduate Studies for giving me this opportunity. I'm very proud to be standing up here today among my fellow graduates, most of whom I've been privileged to know the last 3.5 years. During these years, I underwent my PhD in the Department of Molecular and Cellular Therapeutics here in RCSI. Now, for those of you who don't know, RCSI is a wonderful place to work in. Constantly bustling with the hum of students and friendly faculty members, to me, it's always felt more like a home rather than work. It's quite a unique college. Before I came here, I presumed it only catered to doctors. But it's when you open its doors, you unearth the amazing opportunities that lie within. From the friendly faces of the porters at the main entrance, to the mid-morning tea breaks with my fellow PhDers, to the excellent staff who always go the extra mile, and of course the endless networking and lengthy scientific discussions in our local, the Swan. RCSI is a place where you will meet and greet many of the friends that will walk with you on this journey. And it is the presence of these kind of people which give RCSI the character and unique quality that most of us adore. I have fantastic memories which I will take with me wherever I go. Although my journey was not all smooth sailing, and I think I can speak for a lot of graduates here when I talk of the struggle of postgraduate study. If I'm wrong, find me afterwards and shake my hand, please. For some of you, me included, this experience may not have always been easy, but here you are now, finally over one hurdle and ready to tackle another. But for most of us, a postgraduate degree, be it a PhD, an MD, or a master's, it is a struggle. Our bodies soon had to adapt from being spoon-fed lecture notes in our undergrad years to standing alone, and most often unsure of what lay ahead. I can say with most certainty that a PhD was not the easiest thing in the world, and probably won't be the hardest, as I now find myself in the land of grown-ups, taxes and real jobs. But coming into RCSI every day and getting the support I needed made life that little bit more easier. I'm glad I can say my fondest memories are of tea breaks, pizza nights, and those social scientific discussions which were more than often accompanied by a wine reception or two. Of course, RCSI is not just known for its ever-sociable students. We have been fortunate enough to experience writing workshops, career symposiums, CV and interview skills seminars, just to name a few. Studying here has equipped me with the skills not only for research, but for life. And on that note, I must mention a few special words about the School of Postgraduate Studies. As this is the first year the postgraduates have had their own individual conferring, I think it's appropriate that we give our thanks. In a time where postgraduate studies are all the more needed and required for most jobs in this current economic climate, we must acknowledge the endless work that's being fulfilled by the School of Postgraduate Studies. Earlier this year, we were fortunate enough to be involved in and attend a PhD scholar-led conference, which gained international attention and included renowned speakers from the US. Events such as these occur because of the presence of the postgraduate school and inspire students to continue their studies. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank our postgraduate school head, Professor Niamh Moran, our past head, Professor Kevin Nolan, Dr. Helen McVeigh, and of course, Justina, Jenny, and Bernadette. So just to finish, I just want to say, as I look down at the sea of bright faces before me, I feel an immense pride, which makes this all the more special. I am fortunate to walk these hallways, to walk through this building of unbelievable history, to follow in the footsteps of some of the greats, including my own father, who is a graduate of RCSI. But most of all, I am honoured to be standing up here with the future greats, you. As RCSI is ever moving forward, I think we should go with the motions and aim for bigger heights. From here, it can only get better. As we often say in my house, you can't start at the top of the ladder. You have to work your way up. Well, I say to you today that at least you're one step closer to the top. We've come this far and we can go further. As someone once said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Go raibh maith agat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karim. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, Mr. Declan McGee.
Chancellor of NUI, Registrars, Vice President RCSI, Past President, members of Medicine and Health Sciences Board, Dean and heads of schools, academic colleagues, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, and especially our new graduates. It is a great pleasure and privilege for me to welcome you all here as President to the College for this special occasion. I've been President of RCSI for all of 3 hours, so this is my first official function. I would like to especially welcome Mr. Fionnán O'Cunnagan, Council Member of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland, and Dr. Lorraine Horgan from the Professional Development and Learning Unit of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland. We also extend a warm welcome to your family and friends, many making their first visit to our college, who have come here to celebrate your achievements. I had intended making a special welcome of Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, Minister for Water and Environment in Uganda, and father of Jason, who received her PhD just now for the promotion of solar disinfection of water. He was unavoidably detained, so you may wonder why I'm mentioning it, but it is to take the opportunity to tell you how proud we are in the college of the innovative work of Professor Kevin McGuigan in researching and promulgating this inexpensive and effective method of providing potable water, which has huge potential in vast regions of the world. Well done, Kevin. This evening, away from the madding crowd of tomorrow's major medicine conferring, we have a combined conferring of the Masters in Pharmacy programme and from the School of Postgraduate Studies, degrees of Masters of Science, Doctor of Medicine and Doctor of Philosophy. The college is privileged and proud to be part of the process of quality improvement in pharmacy by providing the Masters in Pharmacy programme on behalf of the Council of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland, the competent authority for the profession of pharmacy in Ireland. I congratulate those who have graduated with the Master in Pharmacy this evening. This major award marks the successful completion of your internship year, a particularly demanding 12 months, in which you must complete the academic requirements of the programme, undertake your supervised duties in designated training establishments, and succeed in your professional registration examination. On your behalf, and on behalf of the RCSI and PSI, I formally acknowledge and thank the tutors and trainers in the workplace who have extended their expertise and experience to you, the new generation of pharmacists. Thanks to their endeavours and to the faculty in RCSI, you are now prepared for independent, autonomous practice. In common with other healthcare professionals, you share a vocation of caring. I urge you to always place the patient at the heart of your practice and to employ your unique expertise in medicines so as to benefit your patient, the health service, and wider society. I am happy to say that you will continue to engage with RCSI as you now become members of the Irish Institute of Pharmacy, the new leadership body for pharmacy. The Institute, happily located in RCSI under the most capable directorship of Dr. Katrina Bradley, will ensure that your knowledge and skills will continue to evolve to meet the needs and expectations of your patients. And so to the postgraduate recipients of higher degrees by research. The graduating list includes 25 PhDs, 8 MDs, and 4 Masters of Science, the highest number of graduates by research at a single RCSI conferring. Not all could be here for this evening's event, but congratulations to you all. Well done. One of the absentees is a member of staff in general practice at the RCSI MUB, Medical University of Bahrain, and is the first PhD from our overseas campuses. I will have the pleasure of awarding her parchment in Bahrain later this month. Reflecting the breadth of our health sciences offering, our PhDs include career scientists, doctors, physiotherapists, and nurses. The theses, as you've heard, across the awards are in subjects from the basic sciences, biological sciences, medicine, surgery, nursing, and physiotherapy, and at MD level, 2 theses in medical education, surely a potentially fertile field in an institution such as ours. We acknowledge the enormous effort of research and intellectual input that has gone into obtaining these degrees, which have been examined against the highest international standards. All of you have and will contribute substantially to the RCSI research profile, of which we are justifiably proud. You do this by publications in top journals and prestigious awards at international conferences. We wish you every success as you pursue careers in your chosen fields and continue to advance the frontiers of our knowledge and understanding for the benefit of our patients. And know that as you do so, you will be excellent ambassadors for RCSI. A great hero of mine is Dennis Burkett, an Irish surgeon from Fermanagh, my own home place, who toiled in East Africa 50 years ago with minimal resources and no formal scientific training apart from his medical education and surgical training, but managed to discover the epidemiology, cause and treatment of a common fatal childhood cancer, now called Burkitt's lymphoma. I will leave you with his favourite admonition, which is apt for all of you, pharmacists, physiotherapists, doctors, nurses, and scientists toiling in the field of health sciences. Attitudes are more important than abilities. Motives are more important than methods. Character is more important than cleverness. And the heart takes precedence over the head. Thank you and congratulations once again.
I'd now like to call on the Chancellor of the National University of Ireland, Dr. Maurice Manning.
President, colleagues, new graduates, ladies and gentlemen, may I begin by offering my very warm congratulations to Mr. Declan McGee on his election 3.5 hours ago as the new president of the RCSI. This is your first conferring as president. It's the first of many, and I want on my own behalf and on behalf of the NUI to wish you every success. May I also say a word about your predecessor, Mr. Paddy Bro, who is here with us today. I've worked very closely with Mr. Paddy Bro over the last 2 years. He's been a very successful president of RCSI. A great number of new things have happened during his time, and a great number of very major challenges have been surmounted. And Paddy, you have been it's been a pleasure to work with you, but I think I've learned a great deal from you, and I think your monuments of work contribution here will stand the test of time. And this is a very special place, the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. It's a very warm and friendly place. It's an institution which everything it does well and to the highest standards. But it's much more than an institution. It's a community where people care for each other, where people like each other, where there is a great spirit of togetherness. And it's that which, for me, makes the RCSI stand out from almost every other institution I know. And I think you've all chosen wisely in choosing to come here. And may I now, I will be brief because I don't want to keep you from the festivities, but the purpose of a conferring ceremony is to provide formal and public endorsement of your academic achievement. In attaining postgraduate degrees, you've demonstrated considerable mastery of your discipline and a high degree of intellectual rigor. I take great pride in conferring degrees on individuals of your caliber, and I know that your family and friends here today also share that pride. A very short time ago, we commenced the millennial anniversary of the Battle of Clontarf, one of the most famous battles in early Irish history. Now, as we all know, the battle was won by, and with apologies to any Scandinavian people here, was won by the forces of Brian Boru, the then High King of Ireland. And the Annals of Inishvallen ascribed to Brian Boru a rousing speech delivered to his soldiers before the battle, in which he is said to have declared, we've no great proof, but he is said to have declared, "On your valour rest the hopes of our country today, and what surer grounds can they rest upon?" The university takes a similar view of the important role its graduates will play in the future development of society, both in Ireland and around the world, and is equally confident of your fitness for that task. This is particularly the case in respect of those who have achieved higher degrees, and that's all of you here today. The role of master's and doctoral degrees is to deepen and advance knowledge, thereby leading to new insights, innovations, improvements in all walks of life. The societal benefits of this are nowhere more evident than in the health sciences. The high quality of medical care we enjoy today is built upon years of research by students and by medical professionals. This work has led directly to improvements in diagnosis, treatments and care, impacting dramatically on standards of healthcare service and quality of life. I'm certain that that same desire, determination and ability you have demonstrated in earning your degree will serve to produce continued excellence and innovation in your future years, in the years ahead. In the years ahead, we look forward to applauding your continued successes and achievements. On your ability rests the future of our health achievements, and what surer grounds can they rest upon? On behalf of the National University of Ireland, I offer warm congratulations to all who have been conferred this evening. I know that wherever you go, you'll be worthy ambassadors for NUI degrees. I wish each of you a very successful and very rewarding career. I hope that throughout your life you continue to maintain the common bond you now share with the community of NUI graduates, a community that is sustained through a spirit of welcome and support for fellow graduates across social and professional contexts. Wherever you go, trust that you will find it a source of friendship and support. This is also a joyful occasion for the parents, the families, and the friends who are here with the new graduates. You have all earned the right to celebrate today. You have all shared in the hard work of the past couple of years as people, as was said by our valedictorian addressee, that doing a PhD isn't easy. It's a very tough, demanding work, and all of you have shared in making that possible. So you have every right to celebrate this evening and longer, to feel proud at the achievements of the new graduates. for the President, the Registrar, the Dean, and all of the staff of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, the successful conclusion of another academic year with the graduation of new cohorts of students is also an occasion for pride in achievement and a cause for celebration. On behalf of the National University of Ireland, I extend my congratulations to you also. Thank you.
I'd like to thank our speakers. That concludes the RCSI degree conferring ceremonies and presentations this evening. I'd like to add my congratulations to our graduates and to thank your families, RCSI administrative and academic staff who've contributed so much to your success. If I can invite your families to join us for a reception in the outer hall, if I can ask our new graduates and academic staff to stay in the conferring hall for a group photograph, and finally, if I can ask you to stand for the exit of the platform party.